listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Your hosts, Nate and John, cover their shared history with the band, discover new music together, and cover the farthest reaches of the Deep Purple family tree and beyond. Here's Nate and John now.
Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode 371, Rainbow, Final Vinyl Part 2. And coming to you from the suburbs of Chicago, where we are nursing a bad spring cold. I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John Spinal Vinyl Matola.
Okay. Spinal Vinyl. Is that J.I.?
You got me.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm doing so good at this.
Well, you know, I did
it just seemed too clever for AI.
And yeah, I know, right? I thought of it, and I was like, well, I didn't really cheat, but I mean, I looked up like what rhymes with vinyl because I was pretty sure spinal was the only thing. And it's literally one of the only things I could find besides vinyl, which is not very creative. That rhymes with vinyl.
Yes.
Vinyl.
Vinyl, yes.
Yeah, but there are no...
John Vinyl Matola.
Actually, that would have been more fun. But yeah, no, there's not a lot of legit things that rhyme with vinyl. But I did do a little research, which I don't count because I thought of rhyming it. So yes, it was
I like that though. Spinal Vinyl. It seems like something that would have been used like by Spinal Tap or something, you know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
For some compilation. Or is there a band that's like big into skeletons and they've got like Spinal Vinyl? It actually, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a Megadeth compilation.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they had that one that was Warheads on Foreheads?
Oh, God. Yeah, for like record store day, like Spinal Vinyl.
Yeah, Megadeth. They had one for the most recent record store day that was a few days ago as of recording this, but it was called something like Hidden Treasures or something. Spinal Vinyl would have been a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Vic Rattlehead there. Spinal Vinyl.
Is that your Vic Rattlehead voice?
That's my Vic Rattlehead / Dave Mustaine. Oh, you're here to get some vinyl? Welcome to the store.
Well, actually, your cold helps your Mustaine impersonation a little bit.
I think it is. Dude, it's like that that guy that does the Dave Mustaine impression where he calls to order a pizza. I sent that one to you, right? He's like, give me a pizza with lots of pepperoni.
I feel like you did send me that a while ago, but
it's very good. It's very good. So we're trying to maximize our SEO. Well, not really our SEO, but so Jen's been doing some work for some people and doing social media stuff, and she's getting driven crazy because I guess the new trend in like social media, because it's all video, and the trend is you have to have like a motion to start your video. It grabs people's attention so they'll watch longer. So like people come into the frame like wow, like that.
Is that why you're doing that?
So that's why I've been doing that on the intro. I figure it's really going to boost our rankings, even though it comes at like the 50-second mark after the intro. It's not going to actually do anything. Nothing's going to entice somebody to watch a 2-hour video about a album that was released in 1986. But
well, I was going to ask you like what is like kind of with like your runaway truck intro where you're like,
I'm trying to see if I can get the Doppler effect.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because I've been seeing a lot of videos. Like I'll watch. I mean, everybody has a different. Who has TikTok has a different algorithm. I get a lot of cooking videos, which is what I would get on YouTube, and all the ones that came before. And there's this one guy. And there are a couple that I really like. I've gotten some good recipes off of him, but it's like he'll he'll like pop into the frame, with
Hmm.
creative editing. But one day he like fucking dropped from the ceiling into the frame, and he's just like, and then leans in and he's like, "Today we're gonna be making steak tips," and it's like. Wait a minute. I had to like go back and be like, did he
Yeah, how
just
did he
like
do
drop
that?
from the ceiling? I mean, probably from the frame in the camera or something. He probably, I don't know, jumped off something or other. But it's like now that makes sense. Is just like why people do it. It's like, okay, it's a creative intro, but I didn't realize it was a kind of a tactic.
I think it's because people are flipping so fast. You got to do something to grab them instantly. And she said now that she notices it drives her crazy because like every video is just somebody going like wow, like right into the into the shot.
Like, they're like Steven Tyler. Yeah.
Steven Tyler would have been huge on TikTok if it had been invented in the 70s.
Mm.
Well, folks, here we are back at you with part 2 of Finyl Vinyl. Although it was kind of a lie because, well, actually, did they release Stranger in Us All on vinyl? Maybe it's not a lie. Maybe this was the final rainbow vinyl. I don't know.
Well, it's the only final vinyl called Final Vinyl.
That is true. Although,
So,
no, there's like some other band. I saw like a couple other bands have one's called Final Vinyl, but it's spelled FINAL vinyl, which is like huge missed opportunity. But I think Rainbow were maybe the first to do it. But there might have been some others out there. I don't know. I forgot what band it was. It's a band that we all know, but I remember seeing a few Final vinyls out there when I was searching for information on this one. And I did find a lot more information on Lynn Robinson, otherwise known as Leanne Robinson, and she was in a bunch of episodes of Benny Hill. So you could find some old screenshots out there of, just typical Benny Hill sexual assault humor, I guess, for lack of a better word. Really, I found like a lot of them. I was searching for stuff, and then something would come up on Facebook, and they're like, these comedies today don't know their ass from their elbow. Nothing's as good as Benny Hill. I'm like, really? Do you really think that? Like, is that really true? That Benny Hill, like, I mean, I remember as a kid, it would be like silly and I'd laugh about it. And I'm sure there's people that have nostalgic value towards it, but I wouldn't call it the pinnacle of humor.
yeah, we will watch it now and be like, oh, that poor lady,
Yeah, exactly. You watch it now and you're like, this guy maybe should be in jail. Yeah, and it's just constantly just him like pinching butts and accidentally grabbing boobs and getting slapped in the face and everything. It's just yeah, it's not and I like Monty Python and Faulty Towers and Blackadder, and I grew up on all that stuff. I love it, but this is not the finest in British humor. But people are so mad. They're like, these terrible new shows. Nothing was as good as Benny Hill.
I don't know. I mean, to not acknowledge that that newer comedy is good is just short-sighted. I mean, I have my favorite old school comedians. I could go back and listen to them like a million times, and especially now that things are so different, the references and things being way less like PC. It's like it also evokes like a different era too. It's funny in a different way. But to say that like people aren't coming out and saying funny shit now, it's like, okay, that's not true because I've seen some really funny newer comedy.
Oh yeah, and there's great shows, and there's great comedians and everything, and there's always been a bunch of crap. But it is kind of astonishing that Benny Hill got to the level that he did. I mean, I think the best part about Benny Hill was Yakety Sax. And he's like, when I was a kid, and they're like, they go out one door and come out the other door, and he's like looking around, and then he goes in the door, and like that part's great. But it's mostly because Yakety Sax is such a good song.
Yeah, that's the why was I wait, was I doing that was I singing that the other day to you or to somebody?
It must have been somebody else.
I made a Benny Hill reference and I was just like, yeah, this is like there's something Benny Hill. So I mean I did reference it probably outside the show, but I can't remember. Obviously somebody was running around like a crazy person. I don't know I can't remember.
Either that, or were you pinching a bunch of women on the butt while you were pretending not to, and somebody else was getting slapped in the face? You were like standing there, so you're like, There's that one where he has like a fake arm, and it's like in his pocket. You know what I'm talking about? And there's the woman to the side of him, and she keeps getting her butt pinched, and she slaps the guy inside of him, and another woman comes by, she gets her butt pinched, and then he's like, because he had a fake arm in his pocket.
I mean, that itself is just funny. It's so stupid, but I mean...
Oh, boy. But we're here, not here to pinch butts and get away with it, folks. We're here to talk about
speak for yourself.
Rainbows, final vinyl. In quotes. I'll have to look up later if Stranger in Us All came out on vinyl. So you could just write on the cover of this one, if you have it with a lipstick, just write lies. But yeah, we're here to tell you that the Deep Purple podcast is, of course, 100% listener supported. Thanks to you. We appreciate it. And we are also ad free. So if you get some value from our show, please consider giving us a little value back. It helps us buy albums for the show. It helps us pay for the services that we use. It helps keep the show on the air, helps get research materials like this hefty Japanese book that just came in, Deep Purple in Concerts. We'd really appreciate it. You can be part of our patron crew. As a patron, you get access to our patrons-only Discord, a ratings spreadsheet, invites for our live stream episodes, link to submissions for our album ranking episodes, and access for our Too Hot for YouTube Forbidden episodes via Patreon. So if you live in the French island of Saint-Pierre and Miquelon, you've probably never heard of our show because we're almost always banned on YouTube just that one island of like 10,000 people. So one island, 10,000 people, two names, Saint Pierre and Miquelon. They couldn't just choose one. It's like I think it's in part of Newfoundland. The rest of Newfoundland is fine. The rest of Canada is fine. It's just this one island. So we'll need to have like a copyright lawyer on to tell us why it is that they are so strict there.
Yeah.
Join us, and you can get our episodes on Patreon and some, get a few extra little bonuses on Patreon. Not as much as we probably should give our patrons. Maybe there's some other stuff we should put up there too. But speaking of our patrons, coming in at the executive level, at the in memoriam tier, the wonderful late Gerald, Jerry, Kelly, and family. Big thank you to Jerry, the late Jerry Kelly and his family. The $25 Uncommon Man tier, we have Ovis Nakfi. At the 20 is Plenty tier, we have Alan. We have at the 10-pound Good Doctor tier, Dr. Mike Catan. At the turn up to $11 tier, Clay Wambacher, Frank Thielgaard Mortensen, Mickelstein, Will Porter, PhD PP, and Michael, do not, under any circumstances, call him Bradford Bagford. At the $10 Someone Came tier, Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, and Better Call Saul Evans. As well as Peter from Illinois, who hopefully we'll see in a few months at the Chicago show. At the $10 Someone Came tier, Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos. Whoa, I just did those. At the £8 lesser known patrons tier. What was that? What was that? Did you hear? Was that coming from you?
I thought that was you.
No, it sounded like almost like radio interference or something.
Yeah, it was like I said that. Are you playing the Postcards by the Edge music right now? Like, what's going on?
It sounded like voices.
Hello?
Spooky. Is the Deep Purple podcast haunted? Oh my goodness.
I wasn't expecting that. All right, well, we know where that came from.
Yeah, we know where that one came from. But finally, in this haunted, extra spooky pre-Halloween, 6 months before Halloween segment, the Deep Thoughts by John Mottola here, Mr. Fielding Fowler.
And now, Deep Thoughts by John Mottola.
Crazy Flakes and Cornhole. Yeah, there we go.
Fielding's on fire tonight.
And the Deep Purple Podcast Hall of Fame, we have
Rich, Youngwee, Shaylo.
I know who Rich is. Rich is my favorite.
Jorg Planer and Norman Weichelbaum. Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right, my tracks are showing up a little weird right now, so I'm hoping they still work. Wait, is it showing that I have this? I don't know why. It just doesn't look like it's gonna work. So I guess we'll find out. I don't know if these tracks are missing or what, but they're in like a weird color, so it looks like they're not gonna work. Well, I guess we'll find out very soon. All right, so are we ready to put Warheads on Foreheads and get into the second two sides of this vinyl collection?
All right, wow, 2 more sides. All right, let's go.
Yeah. All right, so this one starts up with Difficult to Cure. And there's fewer tracks, so I'm expecting some longer kind of instrumental pieces here. Starts off with Difficult to Cure. Let me find my notes here. This is from that same Live at Budokan March 1984 concert. One of the final 2 Rainbow dates in 1984 before Deep Purple reformed. We've got Joe Lynn Turner, Roger Glover, Chuck Berge, David Rosenthal, Leanne, Benny Hill Robinson on backing vocals. And this one includes the orchestra conducted by Mr. Takahashi Hiroi. So let's see if this track works. So here we have a bit of an extended jam.
Richie doing his cello guitar thing.
Yeah. And this is the one. I know I had heard that this featured like an orchestra. And I don't know if they mean a whole... I don't think they bring a whole orchestra out for just a few songs, but... I mean, like a partial orchestra at least.
I listen to stuff like this, and it's just... I find it so interesting that Richie wanted to be commercial around this time.
Right.
I mean, this is like the least commercial. He did the least commercial sounding stuff. His style overall was just so like niche. But hey, he gained some traction.
I mean, I guess it's possible to do stuff like this, but still be in a broader piece of being a pop music overall.
Well, I mean, you also around this time like that kind of neoclassical pop stuff, that Giorgio Moroder type stuff in the early 80s was kind of popular. So he might have piggybacked off that.
But I wonder, and I don't know if I can't remember if we talked about this in the last episode, but like the band had to be aware that this was the end. I think. Yeah. I wonder if the crowd knew. Like we're seeing like the last Rainbow concert.
Well, yeah, I mean, if this is before he got back together with Deep Purple, like so close to it, I mean, there must have been talks or contracts in circulation at this point, right?
I think they made I know there had been rumors, but there had been rumors like on and off since they broke up. The strongest ones coming, I think, in like there were talks previously that broke down, I think. In like, I want to say like 82. There was like a story like Richie and Roger went to go meet Ian, but he was totally shit-faced, and they were just like, forget it.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back in a couple of years.
I'm seeing a couple of entries for Stranger in Us All on vinyl, but they look like unofficial vinyl releases, so this may truly be the final vinyl.
I always thought it was weird because I would never see this like on vinyl. I'd see it on cassette, so I'm just like, they should have called it Finyl cassette for the cassette version. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, Finyl cassette. Yeah, there's one released in Russia, and almost always when you see Russia, it's going to be an unofficial release. And then there's an unofficial couple European releases.
Oh, it was that was a cool jam instrumental.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, there's the orchestra.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, the guy who conducted this, I can't find any other credits for him on Discogs. I don't like, did they just, I doubt they just got like their buddy to conduct an orchestra.
Just called them up.
It's like that scene in Elf where she gets the phone call. She's like, "You want me to declaw kittens? I've never done it before, but I guess I could give it a try."
Oh.
I can't find anything about this guy.
Wow.
Everyone's getting a treat at this one.
Still predates all those new orchestra / rock albums that came out.
Right, and this is how long after he did the concerto at this point? This is what, 80? So this is 15 years after the concerto?
Oh, no,
here it
Yngwie
was.
Yngwie was not influenced by Ritchie at all.
No. He only listened to Paganini. So there were two albums called Final Vinyl.
Yeah.
With an A, Final with an A. One by Hot Tuna in 1979 and one by The Teardrops in 1980.
Hot Tuna.
And then Canned Heat released a second album called Final Vinyl, spelled the same way as this one, in 2024. Canned Heat and Hot Tuna. That's funny because those are the two bands I always get confused.
Yeah,
right?
because they both have to. Yeah, because they both have to do with some kind of like
hot can item.
Which is disgusting.
It's like tuna can and hot heat. My dad had both of them in his collection. Wow, listen to this.
From the man who didn't want to work with a bloody orchestra 15 years earlier.
I'm done with that. It would have been great if he dropped in a bit from the concerto here. They all whipped out their concerto scores from Ritchie's basement, dusted them off.
I know he stole it.
Wow, Hot Tuna. They definitely were a band that was for the radio era, huh? Oof.
Were they?
They have faces built for radio.
Ah.
One of the guys in Hot Tuna looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
See, I always thought this kind of stuff was cool in like music, but it was also stuff that I would like let I would like bring to my like parents or like older relatives and just be like, see, like they play legitimate music, because it's like if you had like something that was like an orchestra or like a classical guitar or something, you'd be like, see, I don't listen to garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is real music. They're like, that's not real music. And I'd be like, "Oh, I can never win."
I'm like, you lost me. It's garbage. Whoa. Yeah, I would do that every so often. Like my Uncle Herb was always the hardest sell.
Yeah.
He's the one that would always try to tell me that the Beatles didn't write any of their songs. There's no way they wrote all those songs.
Wow,
Those guys, are you kidding me?
A Beatles denier.
He was. He's a Beatle conspiracy. He's the only person I've ever heard have. I think he just did it to break my balls.
Yeah.
When he wasn't calling me D'Artagnan. Because I had the long hair. He'd be like, hey, D'Artagnan, come over here. The Beatles didn't write all those songs.
He calls you over just to tell you that.
D'Artagnan, come here.
That was one hell of an instrumental.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
What was that called?
It was just difficult to cure. They just kind of, did the extended bits on the beginning and the end.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a cool live version of that song. I mean, they always did that song live, but not always with an orchestra quite like that. That was pretty good. So yeah, good. That's the last lineup there before they broke up. Don Airey, David Rosenthal, Chuck Berge, Roger Glover. I guess Joe Lynn Turner technically. He didn't do a heck of a lot on that song. It's the 1984 date. It says on this one the guitar solo was re-recorded and it differs from the video release. So there you go. So I wonder. I mean, I can't imagine Richie would have been re-recording the guitar solo in 1986 for this. So I wonder if it's something that he did afterwards when the Rainbow. Well, there wouldn't have been a lot of afterwards though. But maybe he did it.
Alternate
recorded
tape.
it with the engineer and then just because they were planning on releasing it live and then it might have gotten held up. I'm not sure. All right. So now we are jumping back to August 18th, 1982, back to San Antonio at the convention center. And this is Stone Cold. And backing vocals, Dee Beale, does not list Lynn Robinson, although all the vocals we've heard so far seem like it's two women.
Yeah.
This one is David Rosenthal and Bobby Rodinelli.
Yeah, that's a real kind of, I don't know, Gen X and before name you don't hear anymore. Leanne.
Yeah, Leanne.
Yeah, we had a Leanne in my elementary school. I don't think I've ever heard it since.
No, it seems like more like, at least in the U.S., like a Southern sort of thing. Like to meet a woman named Leanne from the South would not be unexpected, but
Baba Sue, Becky Lou.
And not a lot of Leanne's in Yankee territory, I guess. And Dee Beale, I haven't found a lot of information on other than that she sang on this and other rainbow-related Live Between the Eyes, but Joe's feeling himself. So we got Stone Cold, but I've got Flamin' Hot right here. Flamin' Hot Button.
I wasn't expecting to see that.
Yeah, you weren't expecting to look up and see a giant butthole in your in the camera.
I remember it from the last episode, but caught me by surprise.
I don't know why it says flaming on it, or why they put... I think they could have just done the butt on. I better turn this upside down. My kids will be scandalized if they see that. Dad, what are you doing down here?
We're telling Mom.
She will not be interested at all.
No, I noticed about this song and other things on this album too is like these days you see a lot of people kind of like from this era padding up their shows or whatever with background singers.
Yeah.
Because they can't really hit those notes anymore. But it's cool to see like when they were at their prime.
Yeah.
Like JLT, and he could hit the notes exactly as he did on the albums. That they were padding up the background vocals to enhance how it sounded, even when they were singing well. Like, I feel like you don't see that a lot, you know, like especially the Deep Purple family, you see it. This is like they have like the female vocalist, the orchestra is like a chorus, something like that of people that come out. It's just cool to see it. It's just cool to see it as a technique that they employed, you know, aside from what we see now, which is basically them hiding a lot of shitty singing.
Yeah, or pointing the mic at the crowd while the background singers sing it.
Well, you know, you see that a lot now. It's just like David Lee Roth has like 5 or 6 people like on stage, just like lined up, like that sing like the choruses and shit with him because he can't sing them anymore.
I mean, that's definitely 2 singers. They sound great.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's not one person.
Like JLT absolutely does not need the background singers, but it's great. And you know, I did find some people online on like some Rainbow forum years ago complain, this is stupid that they had background singers. You know, one of those things like it wasn't cool that they had background singers. It was like, what are you talking about? It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I guess it's, you know,
I think it sounds great. And it adds something different from the recorded version, the album version.
Yeah, I think they just get really hung up on like this not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the 5 guys, and you know, it's like, man, I mean, why wouldn't you like that? Remember that show we did way back when with Deep Purple had the horn section? It's like, come on, that was awesome. Like,
yeah.
What's like I would be so psyched if I went to go see Deep Purple and they're like, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna bring on a horn section for a few songs. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, yeah,
especially
I was totally happy seeing Deep Purple, and now I'm like, I'm gonna see something really cool and unique, and like, why not? Like, what's
it seems so arbitrary. Just like in the 80s, people just decided, hey, you know what's cool? Keyboards. But you know what's not cool to see on stage?
Keyboards.
Like, all right, how does that make sense? Like,
yeah, we want the sounds to be there. We want the music to sound the way we wanted to hear, but we don't want to see some dork on stage playing keyboards.
Yeah, like we want to hear them, but we don't want anybody to see anyone doing it.
They're like children. Better, no, except the opposite. Better heard, not seen. Get out of here, buddy. With your little sissy keyboard set up, those black and white keys. Who do you think you are?
It's just like, you know, the the Teamsters or something. It's like, hey, we want to hear it, but we don't want to see it. Capiche?
Yep, yeah. It's just so weird. I guess I wonder if it ties into the fact that this was, I'm sure it does, just at the beginning of the video era, and for whatever reason, keyboards were viewed as not being cool. I don't get it with backing singers, like having backing singers. Why wouldn't you want that? Like, what's wrong with that? I don't get it with keyboards either, but.
Well, I mean, I could guess with that, like you were talking about the video era, is that like singers, guitar players, even drummers can make really animated motions, but maybe they looked at a keyboard player and they're just like, okay, like, I mean, first of all, how could you look at anything John Lord did up to then and be like, all right, like him basically picking up his fucking Hammond, and you just be like, all right, how is that not awesome? But maybe somebody looked at somebody going, be like, all right, there's no way to make that look exciting, or I don't know.
Well, I guess it's, I don't know that anybody would have made that calculation with John Lord, but at this era, when there were keyboards around, it generally wasn't a big Hammond like that. It was some little, looked more dinky or whatever. I mean, it was so bad that they had to invent an instrument that was a keyboard that looked like a guitar, and then that was even dorkier. And it became a joke and a punchline, and then get to the point where it came back and it's almost now I don't want to say respected, but it's almost like accepted now that people could do a keytar on stage. It was good for a laugh. It was like guy comes out with a keytar and a mullet, and you're like, ha ha, he has a mullet and a keytar. That's stuff that's not cool. I get it.
It's a keytar. That's what everybody said.
It's true. Like nobody. There had to have been a brief point where there had to have been a point where a guy came out on stage and he's like, yeah, I'm just one of the guys, man. I'm just like one of these guys playing the guitar. And I don't know how long it lasted before someone was like, hey, that's really stupid. And then it became a joke. I don't really remember it. I guess I remember it as a kid, not really being like instantly a laugh, but then as soon as you got into the 90s, it was just a punchline.
Well, yeah, I mean, anything from this era in the 90s was
that is true.
A punchline, yeah. But background singers, I don't know. Maybe there was some weird badge of honor to not need them. I don't know, or not have them.
I mean, you don't need them. You don't need anything. You don't need the guitar. You don't need the keyboard. You could just be like you could put you don't need the singer. You could just put out a trio, or like drums, bass, and guitar. You get rid of the other guys. Like, we don't need these guys. Like, there's a lot of things you don't need, but it sounds good. So who cares?
Yeah, I hear a lot of that. People at work, they'll be like, I'm like, all right, you don't need anything, like technically, okay?
You need water and air and food.
Well, yeah, I mean that stuff, but most of the things people say they need, I'm like, do you really need it? No, you just want it, okay, you big baby.
Well, yeah, work is a different story.
But anyways, back to Spinal Vinyl.
Spinal Vinyl, yes. So that was Stone Cold, and then we go into one of John's favorites, Power.
Ooh.
So this one,
of course, he's messing with the riff.
Yeah, he'll get into it. This is the same San Antonio show. The same lineup, David Rosenthal, Bobby Rodinelli, and we'll likely see Dee Beale and Lynn Robinson on backing vocals.
Love this fucking song.
Nice.
Yeah, I know that those vocals those backgrounds would sound good on this song.
I mean, how could you not love that? I mean, get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Get out of here. That would be really funny. Is it like the background singers in this were like two gospel singers from a church that wear those big robes and stuff? And
it'd be funny to just have two. That's not like enough for the gospel robes. It'd be like to have like two horn players and they're in like tuxedos. It's just not enough.
Well, I mean, honestly, when I hear female vocals that sound like this, that's the first thing that comes to mind because that's the style that they sing in, but oh, it sounds great.
That little bada on the drum, it sounds almost like he's got a delay on.
Yeah. Why doesn't he play like this anymore? Because you read the latest interview about Richie, and he says he'd rather be taking a nap than playing.
Did he say that?
Yeah. He's like, these days I'd rather be sleeping. I mean, the fucking dude is like, he's elderly now. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be... Well, he's 81. He is 81.
Yeah. I mean, 30 years younger than him. I'd rather be taking a nap.
Yeah, I'd rather be taking... If you came up to me at work and found me and was like, hey, would you rather be doing this or taking a nap? I can guarantee you the nap would win.
Where's the bed? Where's the couch?
Are you telling me I have options? I thought I had to be here. I don't even know who you are, but can I take a nap? My boss comes in, I'll just be like, this guy came in and he said I could take a nap, you know?
I'm down.
Although there'd be nowhere at work I could comfortably take a nap. I just go home and take a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, that was great. I did find this is a message. This is a forum post that's over 20 years old. Yeah. Believe it or not. Oh my God. It's actually almost exactly. Yesterday was the 20-year anniversary of this post.
Oh, wow.
Which is funny because it's one of the first things that comes up if you search these backup singers, and it said Lynn Robinson and Dee Beale, whose bad, in parentheses, idea was it? It said, did JLT talk Blackmore into it, or did Blackmore talk JLT into it? Either way, bad move. And then there's just a bunch of responses of people being like, I think it's fine. So
okay,
I guess,
good. So.
Yeah, people are like, I don't see the big deal. And somebody's like, hey, he loved ABBA and he wanted to have some female harmonies. I think they're just fine. I like the harmonies in the back.
How could you objectively listen to that and think that it doesn't sound good? Come on.
It sounds great. Unless, like I said, well, the funny thing is, like, I could see if you were a rainbow purist who was like, everything after Dio is shit and didn't like any of the changes, then I could understand. But of course, then you wouldn't like JLT. But then this commenter goes on to say, I Surrender is their worst song anyway. No amount of singers could have made that a decent song. So this is just a hater.
Mm-hmm.
And the person goes, and take note, with Dio, 4 albums, 2 instrumentals. With Bonnet, 1.5 albums. The Castle Donington Monsters of Rock LP, 1 instrumental, their B-side Weissheim. I don't know what he's talking about here. With White, 1 album, no instrumentals. With Turner, 3 albums, 4. And then he put in parentheses, 4 with an exclamation point. Instrumentals. Maybe next time. Difficult to Cure. Anybody there? Snowman. Not to mention the Difficult to Cure from Finyl Vinyl. If Blackmore had stayed with Dio or Bonnet or White in the 90s, I think the instrumentals would have been kept to a minimum. He paid the price by going mainstream with Turner and wanted to even score somehow. Hence, so many instrumentals from that era. I like instrumentals. I just want to point out the above-mentioned stuff. This guy's got a real stick up his ass.
It sounds like it.
I wonder if he's listening. He's one of our patrons.
If you are,
it's Leaky Mausoleum.
You were wrong 20 years ago.
Or they'll be like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed that post is still up. Or they'll be like, I stand by what I said. To hell with the Deep Purple podcast. I'm canceling my membership.
So where was this from? Like, there's a post
it's
from
just
what?
It's this Deep Purple fan forum that's been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes up sometimes in searches. You get some really good information from there sometimes. But yeah, there's a bunch of people replying that they really just don't. Yeah, it's funny because nobody's like engaging this guy on the same level. You know, like sometimes they'll be like, well, fuck you then.
Yeah.
But everyone's just like, I don't know, man. Sounds cool to me. And he's like, and he writes this diatribe, and then people are like, I like it. And then so he's getting more mad than if they were just like, no, you're an idiot. The vocals are I would have gone on there and be like, no, actually, Rainbow with Dio was nobody likes Rainbow with Dio. JLT is the only real version of Rainbow. I would have gotten real riled up.
Be like, actually, Tommy Bolin blows Blackmore out of the water. Just come up out of left field with something else.
Exactly. Yeah, no backup singers, no Rainbow. That's what I say.
Yeah.
The first 4 albums are garbage.
I would just like jump in. Like, it's always funny when somebody jumps in with something that has nothing to do with anything. Like, if you just saw like somebody be like, I like Eddie Van Halen.
I like the Scarecrow.
What does that have to do with
no,
anything?
I like the Tin Man. Is that the kid in Christmas Story? I like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I like the Tin Man.
Oh yeah, that friggin' weirdo.
With the goggles.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like that would be the post version of him. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the version from that was like this guy's mom or dad or whatever. All right. So before we get into the next half of the songs here, we'll take a break and thank some of our patrons. So coming up, we have our wonderful core level patrons at the $6.99, the nice price tier. We have Spike the Rock Cat's Ghost and Sugar T. At the episode $6.66 tier, we have Steve Coldwell.
Steve.
Arthur Smith.
Getting support from the patron Arthur Smith.
And Charles Meadows. At the $6.65 Almost Evil tier, we have Kenny Wymore, Richie Sucksmith, and Sarah Jane.
Sarah Jane.
One more time to kill the pain.
At the 70 Norwegian Kroner tier, we have Kai Runa Yes, I'm Norwegian Olsen. At the $5.99 the nice price tier, we have Adrian Hernandez.
Hernandez error.
Hey, who the hell are you?
And at the 60 kroner, and Scallop Strap Matt. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Nights tier, we have DJ Newt Morton Johansson. At the €5.50 tier, we have Merline Rota. At the £4 Lucy 4 tier, we have Duncan Leask.
Hungry horse, hungry horse.
At the $5 Money Lender tier, John Convery, German Heindel, Jesper Alman, Alexei, The Perfect Stranger, Slepikov, Kev Roberts, Scott Zern, Cynthia Doobie, Raf Calf.
My Czechoslovakian
is not so good.
Coyote Bongwater. John Maselli.
I got 2 words for you. Adios.
Sarah Sanders.
No, Kelly Clarkson.
Jelly Bean, Evan Robeson, Purple Swede.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
Ralphie Lee.
And I'm not a rich man, and I'm not your friend, Rich, either.
And Joe Dopefish Sigler. Thank you to all of them for the generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. Now back to your regularly scheduled Deep Purple podcast here. So we've gone through some of these songs. Now we're going to take a little bit of a blast back to the past. This one is live at the Omni, Atlanta, Georgia, June 24th, 1978. Man on the Silver Mountain.
Okay.
With Dio, Daisley, David Stone, and Cozy Powell. And this one, I'm told, does feature guitar overdubs. So let's get right into it. Right into it.
Well, it takes 4 sides to get some Dio. I like how they didn't do it chronologically, though, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. Mixing it up a little.
Yeah. You start with the new stuff, and then you're just like, all right, now we're going to throw it back.
Very intentional, though. I think grabbing the folks that were probably the most, recently into Rainbow with some of the more recent stuff, and then taking a little go through the past. And the Rainbow Fan Clan has a bunch of fan reviews of this show. Again, June 24th, 1978. So I don't know if they... So I guess REO Speedwagon... Oh, did they open for REO Speedwagon? Oh, yeah, they opened for REO Speedwagon. Apparently, Richie Blackmore punched the manager of REO Speedwagon in the face before the show.
Oh, Richie.
I can hear him. So there's a quote from Richie. And I can hear him just delivering this like really calmly in his Richie way. So the guy's name was Andy Green. And Richie said, I punched Green because he put the house lights on 10 seconds after we came off the stage. We like to keep the lights off until the Over the Rainbow theme is finished playing. REO is a great band, and we get on with them very well. But that one certain person we don't get on with, and he turned the lights on too soon.
Well, he's got this thing with light and when it appears.
Yeah, what choice did you have, Richie? Had to punch him in the face.
He doesn't like to go on till dusk. He doesn't like the lights to come on too early.
Yeah.
He's got a real thing with light and darkness.
Yeah, the lights come on too late. It's punch you in the face. They come on too early. They'll break your camera. They come on just right. He's happy as a clam. And Andy Green contradicts him, says, Blackmore had been a prima donna all night long and something was bound to happen sooner or later. He smashes up his equipment and that causes problems. If it didn't happen when it did, it probably would have happened the next night. He blindsided me, so I fought back. Ooh, got a little stereo panning going on there.
What?
One of these other people that were at the show that did a little fan review of the concert says, Dio has an unfortunate physical resemblance to Tiny Tim. I mean, maybe the curly hair, but isn't the whole thing about Tiny Tim that he was kind of a big guy?
Yeah. But yeah, now that you mention it.
I thought he was always a, like,
character.
I thought he was quite a big guy.
Like, Dio didn't have, like, one crutch and, like a
no, yeah, not that Tiny Tim.
God bless us, everyone.
God bless us, everyone.
All right.
Ah, I love when he does one of these. Oh, wow. I didn't know he grew up, Tiny Tim grew up right where I used to live in Washington Heights in Manhattan. Oh, this is great. Nobody does this better than Richie, but he doesn't do it very often. He'll just throw it in as little asides during a little interlude like this.
Which is great because you don't get sick of it. It's just enough.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a great blues player. Nice.
Just you and me, we got to climb to the top of the world.
Ooh.
So good. Oh, where did the reverb go? Man, they must have really cranked the reverb on that part.
Yeah.
I wonder what he overdubbed as far as guitar. Maybe it was just some of the playing in the song proper. I love this Ronnie ad-libbing stuff.
You know, the best thing is that, like, he would always do this. It wasn't just Rainbow.
Right.
Like, he just did it all through his career. He was so good at it.
It's just pure passion.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like Cozy dropped a stick there.
He's a down with fire.
I love that.
Wow. See now,
down in fire.
See now, listening to that in comparison to you're hearing the newest or the last version of Rainbow, right, which is the JLT one, and then you go back to this, and there's I don't know. I feel like it puts it in perspective, right? Because it's like Ronnie was awesome, and I mean that version of Rainbow was great, but you could really tell the stark difference between the two Rainbows. It really was two different, or even three different bands. If you count Graham Bonnet was kind of more like the JLT version of Rainbow, but it's just like they couldn't have gone into the 80s with Ronnie because he was great, but he was not a commercial sounding singer. Like you can't deny that he was like he's the best, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean him and JLT, I would put them on the same pedestal as vocal abilities, you know.
Sure.
Maybe Ronnie a few extra points for creativity and passion, you know, because JLT couldn't have done any of that stuff that Ronnie did during the ad-libbing, but yeah, they were like two different bands, and like Ronnie just like God bless him, he just wasn't commercial, you know. I mean, I could see why that split would have happened. Like he couldn't have and never did sing like a pop song, you know, and wouldn't have been successful at it. That just wasn't his voice. It wasn't his strong suit, you know.
Yeah, like Rainbow in the Dark is probably the closest he ever really got outside of anything.
And that was a rock, and that was like a rock rated. Like you still listen to that and be like, yeah, that's heavy, but you wouldn't listen to that next to Since You've Been Gone and be like, okay, like I could listen to both of these on like AM radio.
Yeah.
You know?
But since he's passed, I feel like even towards the end of his life, he kind of got elevated to a higher level, you know, like where the average people who maybe had never heard of him before knew him, you know, like everybody knows Dio. They know the name. They might not know anything by him. They might only know Rainbow in the Dark, but I don't know if it's just, if it was, I don't know. I don't know if it was the marketing on Wendy's part, you know, the way that Sharon did for Ozzy, you know, because even if you think of Ozzy, like when we were growing up, he was popular. He was well known.
Yeah.
But when he became like, when they started doing that TV show and everything, that was just like, okay, Ozzy doesn't belong to just the fans like us. He belongs to everyone now. Like he is a mainstream pop culture icon the world over, not just like a heavy metal singer that. And again, not diminishing. I mean, he was, of course, extremely famous before that, but it got to the point where, you know, it was like when my mom knew who Snoop Dogg was, I was like, okay, this guy is really big now.
Right, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, like Ronnie never crossed into that where it's like, you know, like he didn't have like a Super Bowl ad or something, you know.
Right.
Like some average Joe outside of the rock or metal world, they know who Ozzy is, but they might not know who Dio is, right?
Yeah.
So I get where you're going with that. Like there was no like the Dios, you know, they'd be like Ronnie's running around acting like a buffoon, like, oops, I accidentally tripped over my 18th century chair or something.
The wooden arms and the big padded seat.
You know, he walks by and like his I don't know, there's some mishap with like a suit of armor.
Well, unfortunately he's not
Wendy!
Why did you move my suit of armor? He's not like a silly character, and that wouldn't have worked. I think his life at home would have been very normal, you know, like, yeah, there would have been a suit of armor and like a tapestry in his living room, but I feel like he was a very like serious, he came across as like very professional and very, very thoughtful and very well spoken, whereas Ozzy
was a buffoon.
Yeah, he was kind of a, you know, and they played that up too, you know. He was always kind of like that. He was a silly, like, I remember we would watch those videos that Ozzy made where he'd, you know, Hemi sink, the only sink I know is when I wash my fucking face in the morning. And they'd have like, you know, he'd be like in a bathrobe cooking eggs in the morning, like, you know, talking and just doing it in one of those things where like, hey, Ozzy, will you do an interview? Sure, but I'm going to be cooking eggs. If you don't mind me cooking eggs while we talk, you know. And he would say like funny stuff. So we would just watch that and just laugh and just like, this guy's like the best. But yeah, Dio's too serious. He wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been worth watching.
Well, exactly. Like
it would be for us, but
Dio didn't like, you know, snort ants off the sidewalk in front of Motley Crue or like shave his head and come out on stage in a dress. You know, it's like even suggesting that Dio would do that just sounds ridiculous. So it's like, but I mean, regardless, it's like back to the original point is like it shows you this shows you, I think it was very smart, whether they intended to or not, was it really shows you the stark difference between the versions of Rainbow and how they're both really great in their own way. So it's like I really enjoy listening to more radio accessible Rainbow, but I also enjoy listening to early Rainbow. I think it just depends on what your mood is, and this kind of highlights that there are both.
Yeah, no, totally. And yeah, it is interesting because they start with JLT. They do, I think it was just one song with Graham, and then they go back to JLT, and then they go back to, so you've got the Dio era on one end, the JLT era on the other end, and the Bonnet. I wouldn't call it an era. It was a kind of a transition,
Yeah. But it's I don't know if it's a tactic or anything, but it really makes me think of the one of the things that I really wanted early on was the Kiss Exposed video, which I think came out in like 86, 87. And so it had current non-makeup Kiss, and they were doing silly interviews and stuff. So that was buffoonery. But the first few things that they did was showing videos like from the current era, like ones that came out like that year or a year or two before. And then they went in and they threw it back and they're like, oh, and here's like the next video is us from like the Budokan in 78, and then you're like, oh shit, like 10 years ago. And I don't know if that's I don't know, like a marketing or video technique or something, but there is something to that where you start off with a new one and then you throw it back, and it's almost like it's comforting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gets, it takes the current fan, reels them in. And for those people not familiar, you like for you grew, that's the Kiss you were exposed to first. So then you would learn about the older stuff. And that's kind of happened with some of the stuff with us too, where you'd get into, I mean, the first thing I ever saw from Pink Floyd was, the hell was it? Delicate Sound of Thunder, live concert, VHS tape. And I was like, oh, what is this? I should, look into it. And then you look, oh, wow, this is like, seemed so new at the time. And, the band wasn't super old, but then you start to get into the songs that you liked on that from the older era. And then you get into that. So, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily super intentional, but it's a good way to rope people in and get them into the older stuff. But anyway, speaking of Dio, we got another Dio track here, and that is Long Live Rock and Roll. Here we go.
A song from our newest LP called Long Live Rock and Roll. A song called Long Live Rock and Roll.
The titular. And this is from the same concert.
A little more swing in this version.
Yeah. So Blackmore responded to the REO Speedwagon guy, responding to him. This is like going on. He said, there's a difference between being a prima donna and demanding a little respect. The problem's not over by any means, but I love aggravation. I can't play unless I'm aggravated. I hate to go on feeling totally complacent and happy. I'm a rebel against the whole system. I spoke with someone yesterday who's got 2 weeks to live, and here's someone worried about trivial things like getting the house lights up, and to me that is just rotten. Oh boy, Andy Green, it's not over for you, man.
Oh man.
And then it goes on to say, the two groups were slated to play 29 more dates together on the tour. Must have gotten pretty ugly.
Keep them on separate sides of the arena.
It's like that. What was the last going way back, but when we did our show on episode 6, when we first started, like the original drummer, like the last show, he came and he set his drums up like right by the door when they were on the other side on the stage. He played the show and then he broke down and left. Oh, I love petty stuff like that. So they reported on sounds, reported on the brawl between Blackmore and Green, and saying that roadies had to separate them. And then they said, at least it shows Richie still cares enough to dispel incessant rumors of a Rainbow split. So 1978, there was rumors that the band was going to break up.
Oh, wow. Well,
started pretty early. I mean, Ronnie wasn't going to be around too much longer. So I guess they would go on to play with Alice Cooper a couple days later.
Alice.
And a record company wrote the review of the concert. Says rocker Alice Cooper just isn't the same. It's just hilarious. 1978. Alice Cooper really going down. He's not the same. It's like 50 years later, he's still playing. Isn't Mark going to see him like in a couple months?
Yeah, he's still literally the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be much longer for this guy. It's just not the same. I think the takeaway from Final Vinyl and everything we've done on this show, it's never the same. Why would it be? Are you the same? I hope not. I hope you've changed a little.
Who, me?
I'm just saying in general. Aren't we all a little different?
Yeah.
You're not the same as you were 50 years ago.
No. Well, I mean, I don't think I was anything 50 years ago.
Well, you were,
It'd take like a couple of years for your personality to develop.
Oh, personality-wise, yeah. You were eating and pooping. You say I'm going to drink a beer, that's what it's all about?
That was the beginning of Black Knight.
Yeah. A little modulation up. Love to see it. What did he say there?
Who knows what Ronnie says sometimes?
His back's against the wall.
It's just proof, like, it doesn't matter what he says. He always sounds good saying it. He's like, I'm the man, you're the man, we're all the man! It's like, all right, calm down,
Yeah, when
Ronnie.
you sing like that, it doesn't really matter what you say.
But when sometimes you listen to her, you're just like, all right, even the women are all the man?
Yeah, you can't think too hard about it.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I'm sure that the number of women at the show were not that much.
No, not, yeah. I love they say, good one! Like, you're the one who did it. It wasn't us.
I meant good night.
So the guy who wrote that review about a show a few days later with Alice Cooper saying he's just not the same. He said, the heavy metal, he says, his well-received set was followed by a band called Rainbow, which sounded more like a cloudy day. The heavy metal power rock assaulted the senses, and although their musicianship was fair, the volume was just too loud. The high point of their set was a tape of Judy Garland singing Over the Rainbow.
Oh, come on.
Guy's a real square. It assaulted the senses.
Wimp. A wimp.
The high point was Judy Garland singing Over the Rainbow, okay? Unbelievable. All right, so next up, we've got... No, this one is from... this is Weisheim. This is... Oh, it says the LP notes mistakenly credit drums on Weisheim to Bobby Rodinelli, but it's, in fact, Cozy Powell. This is an in-studio B-side for All Night Long single 1980.
So this is Cozy.
Yes. It's got a really, really long silent intro there and fade in. So this one...
Nice. Kind of dark.
It sounds great. So B-side to All Night Long. But this is something they did live. This is another one where like, what? I know this. It's on a special edition release of Down to Earth. You know, our patron Jeff Bryce goes by Bryceheim, which I always assumed was, well, obviously a reference to the song. Oh, okay, so it was released, the 2011 deluxe edition of Down to Earth had this as a bonus track, so that's probably why I know it. And also Bad Girl, that you really liked from the last episode.
Yeah. So what is this song?
Weisheim.
Oh, okay.
That's great, really nice instrumental.
Yeah, it kind of has like a dark feel to it.
Yeah. Sounds like a dark, cloudy day. Can't wait for Judy Garland to come out and sing Over the Rainbow.
Oh, it was the highlight.
The highlight.
Idiots. So dumb. Like, oh, what can I say that's going to be like contrarian and infuriating?
And cutting.
Hmm. He goes,
So this would be a nice little closer to the vinyl release, although there was one more bonus track that was on the cassette version, which we'll call Final Cassette. I like that this old school Rainbow forum, or this old school Deep Purple forum, is still going strong.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of forums these days.
No.
Well, I wouldn't say going strong, but this is the posts happening in it.
Nice.
Beautiful. Great, great. A wonderful little ditty.
Yeah, I heard that, that kind of, I just recognize that kind of dark chord pattern, the bo no 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 na 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 bo no 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 na na, just like, but a little bit. It's always something that I love to play if I were playing guitar or something, and be like, yeah, it's dark.
I just found a the same user on this forum that was unhappy about the bad backup singers.
Yeah. Is he complaining about something else?
I just did a search on the forum. I was like, I wonder what other people have to say about Final Vinyl, but it brought up a post by the same guy, and the head of the post is the disappointment that is Final Vinyl.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be people that are unhappy about a compilation. But, after a band has broken up, what do you expect? You're not going to get a full album of new material. You're just going to kind of get this. But
all it is a rehash. Oh shit.
But here's the final track from the final cassette. This is Street of Dreams, which we heard the first few minutes of accidentally on the first episode, and this is from that 1984 Budokan gig, either on the 13th or 14th of March. We don't really know. He's getting into it with one user must have said, "What are you smoking?" Because he said, "I bought the double LP of Final Vinyl the month it was released in 1986, and I was disappointed. I'm not smoking anything." You're gonna have to cue it up.
Don't even go there.
He said, "I'm not smoking anything. Haven't you ever felt like you didn't get your money's worth after buying something?" He said, "Don't get your shorts in a twist. Don't know what you're smoking is just an expression."
You're short.
Nothing better than reading a 20-plus-year-old internet fight.
Well, because then you have the added layer to it of like, I wonder what they're doing now.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, who knows if they're even still alive? I mean, freaking 20 years ago.
Oh, I'm still alive from 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Barely, but,
I mean, not necessarily because of age. Just a lot of things could happen.
Sure.
I hope they are both on Twitter arguing with each other still.
I hope they're arguing to this day.
Yeah. We're going to arrange a real-life meetup where they can duke it out for supremacy. Vinyl was good. Psh, no, it was bad. Psh.
Now, this is a studio live recording, right?
No, this was actually from the show.
Oh, live? Okay.
It does sound very, clear. He almost did a little final countdown there. amazing that in all this years of the internet, we haven't found a way to say, like, I think one thing, I think another thing. Well, you're wrong. I mean, I guess there are subjects where that it could be true, but it's just funny about, like, liking an album.
Yeah. Well,
no, you're wrong. It's good. No, you're wrong. It's bad.
Well, that's very subjective.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Of course, the problem these days is there's a lot of objective arguments where it's like, no, you're literally wrong, and they're like, no, I'm not. It's like, yeah.
Well, okay. Now it's like, I don't think women should have the right to vote. I think you're wrong. Bah! It's like that's a slightly higher stakes argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do the video of this whole show. That's going to be awesome one day.
Yeah.
Final VHS.
What are we going to, like, ooh, that's what we should call our, like, we decide to end the show. We can call this the final podcast.
The final podcast. We can't really spell it in a clever way, though.
Final pod?
We could just spell it final, like FINYL.
Okay. Yeah, final podcast out of context just sounds like that's not creative.
Well, neither's the Deep Purple podcast, so it was the final episode. It would be very.
Ooh, we'll call it Final Cassette.
Nice. All right. Let's thank some patrons, then we can get into our final thoughts.
Ooh,
final
thought.
About
final
thoughts. And now for final thoughts. All right. Well, thanking our foundation level patrons as we close out the show, we would like to start by thanking the £3.50 Deep Purple New York tier, Lord Longford. At the £3 aromatic feed tier, we have Simon Ford. At the €3.50 tier, Weston Supermare Pilgrim. At the 293 pence tier, we have
Blackmore Tights.
At the €2.50 Too Many Tiers tier, we have Soldier of Fortune. At the $3.33 Halfway to Evil tier, Stephen Sharp. At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, Peter Gardeau.
Pete who? Oh, Pete, yeah. Pete, thanks a lot. I'm going to have a sip on you.
Ian DeRosier. Mark Roback.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us who he is?
Stuart McCord. Ivan Fjeldbu. Runar Simonson. Ruinous Inadequacies, Corey Morissette. Adam Cork, Tim Wood, Steve Down to Earth Kohler.
Make your love.
Michael, Matt in Vegas, Jesus Christ Superstar, Eddie Lyon.
Homosexual.
And Rosedale Tom. At the 19.31 Cold Hard Danish Kroner tier, we have Karsten Lau.
Cold Hard Danish Kroner.
And at the $1 made up name tier, we have the, I don't know, Man in the Silver Casket, Leaky Mausoleum, Stephen Somerville, The Concerto 1999 Fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashen Lionel, Swapper the Electric Alchemist, Andres Engstrom, ICDC, Durple Purple, David Haddam, Graham Bonnet's Disco Pants and Haircuts.
I said, Graham, you know, our audience expects you to be a bit more dirty.
Disco Pants and Haircuts, yeah.
I'm just going to put my guitar across his head.
And Sick Tone.
Where is she? Where is she?
Just about to close up the library.
Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right. final thoughts on Final Vinyl?
And that was definitely a surprise for me. Like this is something that I would definitely listen to again. And I mean, I'm not, I mean, I like some live albums, but my history is like not huge on live albums or even compilations, but, and especially like kind of, stitched together ones like, oh, this isn't all from, obviously from one show type of thing. But, this one was really good. I think it was, I don't know, kind of now more than a, retrospective. I mean, it had some like great performances, and there were variations from the album versions, like the background singers that we talked about, that were enough that made it like, yeah, I want to hear these versions again. So I really liked it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not much of a compilation guy either, but this was great. Really, I mean, what more can you do after a band breaks up than put together some one final last thing? And obviously, you could be jaded and say, "Oh, this was just a cash grab because of blah blah blah," or a contractual thing. But it serves the fans. There were B-sides that fans may not have had. There were live recordings that fans almost certainly would not have had if they hadn't had official release. So what's the harm from it? It's not just like packaging up Rainbow's greatest hits and they just peel off 2 or 3 songs from each album and throw them on there. It's just like that's kind of like, well, I was never a big fan of greatest hits albums, although, I did have a few that got me into bands, or you just bought like We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. I had, I don't think I even knew it was a compilation when I got it, and then you branch out from there. But yeah, what more could you want as a fan? A nice booklet, a nice collection of songs, some songs you likely never heard before, and some live versions, covers all the eras. Really nice release.
Yeah, so if we is that it? Because I have something.
Oh, sure.
So listening to Pot of Thunder this week, they were talking about, it was their 13th year anniversary.
Yeah, right.
Which, happy
Crazy
anniversary, guys, belated. Yeah, but anyway, it got me thinking, because they were talking about how their first show, I think, clocked in at like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was before they had all the the crazy bits that they would do. So it got me thinking, and we a week from today, when we're recording, April 29th, 2019, was our first episode 7 years ago.
Wow.
So it's going to be our 7th anniversary, when our first show, without all the bits and stuff like that, was a little over an hour.
Oh, okay.
Which another short episode.
that would have been unbelievably short these days.
But going back on the calendar too, it looks like our time slot was always Monday.
Yeah.
So I remember they said that their Pot of Thunder said their initial first episode was on a Saturday, and then from then on it was always a Monday.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it got me thinking, because I know that in April is when our anniversary comes up. So yeah, I just thought, since it was on my mind, instead of like doing it, saying it like, I don't know, a week from now or something, I just wanted to look up a couple of stats about our first.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, I haven't listened to that since we did it, and I probably would be horrified to go back and listen to it. But
yeah, me too.
I remember we recorded it and being so like, I think we were like, yeah, let's put it out on a Monday. And I was just like, oh man, I want to put it out now. It was like, I was jonesing for it. And like every week, for the first few weeks anyway, you put it out. Like, I can't believe it's going to be a whole week until the next one. And now it's just like, wow, what are we recording? When's it coming? It's just, it's such a routine now after 370 episodes. You don't even think about it. But yeah, it was so exciting to like, because I don't remember when we recorded it, but I was like, let's just put it out right now.
Well, let me see. I have it on my calendar. I have Deep Purple podcast episode number 2 April 29th. So that was the date that our first one came out. Our meeting time was 10 p.m.
Oh, that's right. Because we used to record so late because I had to
I
get my
know
kids to
now.
bed.
Yeah, I
And
know. Now
well,
it's
my
like,
daughter yesterday just turned 11. And when we
Yeah.
started doing this show, she was 4.
wow.
She had just turned 4. So I had, even for a couple of years after we started, I had a little baby monitor up on my shelf here. So if she, because there'd be some, Jen did a lot more like work trips back then. So if I heard her crying, I could like go upstairs or whatever. But it's like now it's just they're up there stomping around. I get done recording. They're like they're I go to sleep and they're up for 3 more hours on a school night even, so it's just not it's just so weird to think that was like a lifetime ago. It feels like we're the same people, but my kids are like grown, and that I come up from recording a show and we might be done at early. We might be done 6:30, 7:30. They're up there, they're cooking pasta and doing all sorts of stuff. And back then I had to be like on the alert because like I would have to get her to bed, and sometimes I'd be texting you, it's not going great.
You know what? I remember that too. You're just like, you'd be sitting with her, you'd be like, tucking her in or whatever, and you're just like, oh, a few more minutes, she's not cooperating.
Yeah, she did not want to go to sleep, and now it's like she's like, bye. They don't, they used to run and greet me at the door when I came home from work. And then when COVID started, I'd be like, you can't do that anymore because I got to sanitize and go to the shower and all that. And that was the end. It's like, it's one thing COVID, I guess I should be lucky, but I kind of pissed off that COVID took that away from me because probably could have squeezed out another year of the kids greeting me at the door. And now I'm like, are they here? Do they still exist? I don't know if they're in the house. They could be in the house, but just not saying anything. The dog greets me though.
Well, yeah, I mean, God bless the dog.
She's lying down behind a big pile of records over there right now. She'll come and greet me at the door. Nobody else gives a shit.
So yeah, well, I mean, now I come home and obviously I haven't lived with James and the dog, and we had 2 and sadly lost one last November.
Yeah.
But even now, like our English bulldog Harvey, he used to run to the door. You'd hear it open. He'd be like, "Ruff," and he'd come running over. Now I come home and he's just like on the couch and he's like, "Whatever, man."
Whatever you got to do. Whatever floats your boat.
I'll come in. I'll like look around the corner. He'll be like sleeping on the couch. I'm like, "Hello," and he just looks at me like, "Yep, talk to you when you give me dinner."
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anyways, looking back on my calendar, just spend another couple of minutes on this one. I did have it in here, April 25th, which was a Thursday, 2019 podcast. I just have it in there before we had any meetings or anything. 9:30 p.m. is when we recorded the very first episode, and then 4 days later, on the Monday, we recorded the second episode at 10 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, even then we were like double dipping there. We were like, all right, we got to hurry up and get the first one out and then do the second one. And
yeah, we still haven't missed an episode.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll, maybe, in a few years, we'll do a 10-year retrospective and bring all that information up again. But, yeah, I'm glad that digitally anyways in my calendar, I record like everything. So I know times and stuff like that. But yeah, I forgot about that when you would, always have to. Well, first of all, we would record like super late, which it's like thinking about it now, it's like what are we doing? Like 4:30, 5:30 some nights.
Yeah, we're going early now. Which is good. Like now I can because you used to have to, when the kids are little, you had to eat dinner really early and get them ready for bed early. Now it's like, who gives a I can just do dinner later, like. So yeah, I usually do record and then make dinner. And usually I go upstairs and like nobody's around, or my son's already made himself some ramen. Like, so it's like, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. And I remember when we first, very early on, met up with the Pot of Thunder guys and thinking like, wow, they we're just starting our show and they've been doing their show for 5, almost 6 years or whatever. And now here we are, we've been doing our show longer than they were when we started. And wow, 13 years for them. Good for them and good for us. And good for hopefully everybody's still listening. Some people since day one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know that we always around this time we just kind of acknowledge like, oh, another year has passed, but
yeah, well, I'm glad you brought it up because we probably wouldn't have.
Well, that made me think of it. Like I said, when the Pot of Thunder guys said on their episode that I was listening to this week, and I was just like, oh yeah, I said we're coming up on it too. So they must have started like early April, and we started late April.
Yeah, right around the same time. That's
So I started to think about it, but I know we kind of acknowledge like the clock rolling over each year, and I was like, oh, this is got to be like what? Because I know we started 2019 because we had that one good year before COVID,
before everything went south. Yeah.
You know? But then, wound up being a blessing in disguise because, doing this kept us sane.
Yes, especially since we still had to go into work every day and all that and deal with people and mask up, and that was very stressful. Yeah, I'm glad we had this during that period because that would have been already it still was pretty shitty. Yeah. But it would have been extra bad.
Extra shitty.
Extra shitty. And it was funny. Then everyone started using Zoom after that. And I was like, oh yeah, we've been using that for the past year for our podcast.
Is that what we start off on, Zoom, or do we use like Skype or something?
No, we started on Zoom.
Yeah.
And because I another podcast I had guested on told me about Zoom. I had never heard of it, and I used that. And then we started the podcast a few months later, and I was like, I guess we'll just use that Zoom thing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden everybody was using Zoom. And now they update their program every time you open it. It's got new updates and you can't find anything.
It's like, where's the button? Here.
And they've got a bunch of AI bullshit that you'll never need. But anyway, folks, 7 years, unbelievable. Hopefully 7 more before our final podcast, final cassette podcast. And
no thing of slowing down now. No chance.
Yep, and we've got a new. Well, I guess we're gonna have to talk. I think the next episode after this one, if I'm correct, is gonna be our breezy summer format.
Oh, yeah. You still have to tell me what you got in mind.
Well, you're gonna have to tell me what you have in mind too. We'll have to fix it up. So maybe the first episode will be talking about that format and how it's gonna work. I don't know, because maybe we'll just have a live meeting about how it's going to work, but have some ideas about how we can get through the summer with some shorter episodes as we got a busy summer coming on. And then we could pepper those episodes in throughout the year, the rest of the year, when we have busy times during the holidays or whatever. But I don't think the episodes are going to be short, but maybe a little over an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Just something. So anyway, right. We'll talk to you there and we'll see what we have in store for you next week.
If you like the Deep Purple podcast and would like to support the show, please consider joining our Patreon or donating on PayPal. Patrons get full access to the podcast, Discord server, ratings, spreadsheets, and live stream invites. You can also leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, or Threads. You can also check out the website at deeppurplepodcast.com for show notes and more. Contact us via email at John or Nate at deeppurplepodcast.com. Thanks for listening.